Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys had an amazing 2 weekends since our last show. Welcome to LAB78. My name is s.k.y.
My name is Aline. Yo!
Hey, how are you guys doing? And more importantly, Elin, how have you been the last 2 weeks?
I was busy preparing for the Chinese New Year.
Chinese New. When is Chinese New Year?
February 12th.
Oh man, and this crazy. You know what for me is the crazy part about Chinese New Year is Chinese New Year's keeps changing. Like the date changes every single year.
Alright, yeah.
Why does it change?
Because don't ask. I don't know.
I don't know either. If anyone can write it down in the comments, just tell us why it keeps changing. Because that's so confusing to me. It's like better if it's like first weekend of
It's just
February
like a Christmas, like
yeah,
December,
that'd be so much
25th.
easier. So what do you guys do for Chinese New Year?
We will have a lot of good food, and of course we will get ang pao.
Okay, I know ang pao because I was here last year. You gotta tell the audience what ang pao is because a lot of Westerners have no idea what that means.
Ang pao in English is called rat packet, which the eldest will put money inside of rat packet and give it to the youngster who aren't married.
Oh, okay. So like, and this is every year, right?
Yes, every year.
Now I heard like some people are telling me that people make a lot, like some kids make a lot of money on Chinese New Year, like tons of, like thousands
because
of.
They have a lot of relatives.
Oh, okay. So here's my question to you: is what is the biggest ang pao you've gotten?
It's for my parents, about like 1,000 ringgit.
Oh my goodness, that's like $250. That's so crazy. You're so lucky. So you must be looking forward to Chinese New Year plus new shopping.
But due to this pandemic, we don't really can hang out, go out to buy new clothes.
Oh, but you can still do internet shopping.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, for me, I'm doing a lot of internet shopping these days.
Oh, where do you shop?
Well, for me is I don't like clothes because I'm scared. I don't want to return anything. So I only buy like gadgets, like electronic stuff. And this is the type of thing I do. But I'm really thankful because, like the whole world is in lockdown. And, everyone always asks me like, oh, but hey, how is the lockdown in Malaysia? I'm like, Malaysia, number one, is a tropical country. Number two, it's a vacation spot. Number three, it's very cheap food, which means that I am on like a 1-year vacation so far. So I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm super, super happy about this.
Thanks for loving Malaysia. But now, get into our topic. So what's the programs of today?
Today's program. Okay, so this is kind of cool because this is, because you're here and you're an influencer. And we're going to talk about social media, the dangers of social media, and how we can deal with social media in a better way.
Oh, this you remind me that during Chinese New Year, I found that a lot of youngsters, even my parents, they are always on their gadgets, and I think they are addicted.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think they're addicted too. I think everyone out there in the audience, how many times have you been to a restaurant and everyone at the table is all looking at their phones the entire time and no one's talking to each other? How many times have you guys seen that? That's crazy, right? And we see it all the time. And honestly, I do it too sometimes. I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah, it's crazy. And okay, I'll tell you this one story. This one time, I was at a restaurant. There was an old man with his family, a father, right? And he was looking at me like this, right? So if someone does this to you, what would you think?
Taking picture?
Yeah, I thought so. I'm like, this guy's taking a picture of me because he's like this staring at me for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, what the heck? So I got up, I'm gonna go to the bathroom just to check. And when I walked past the guy, the reason why he's doing this is because he is really old and he has bad eyes and he's watching badminton. He's watching badminton like this. But the whole time I'm like, what are you doing? You're with your family and you're watching badminton instead. So yes, addiction. I do think there's a lot of people that are addicted to their phones, addicted to social media. So let's try this small test. And we're going to talk about signs that you have, like these are signs, 4 signs to know if you're addicted to your phone or social media or not. All right,
So
let's start with you.
Number one, what is the first thing when you wake up and the last thing you do before you sleep? And if it's checking your phone, you are
addicted. Yes, I agree with that. And honestly, that is honestly me. I'm like that. Okay, let's go number two. Number two, second sign. If you're at work, if you're in class, right? Or some of you now, because you're at home, if you're in church, right? Or studying, and you check your phone while you're doing those things, you are addicted.
Oh, let's come to the number three.
Number three.
If you are away from your phone just for a little while and you start to get anxious, and you are addicted too.
Yes, yeah. And hey, have you ever left your phone at home before?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so how, like, when you leave your phone at home, how do you feel?
I feel not natural. Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
Isn't it so weird? Like, you're always like even though you know you didn't bring it, you keep putting your hand in your pocket or your bag to look for your phone. It's the craziest thing. But you can tell if you do that, you're addicted. Here's the last one, guys. Number four. Okay, the fourth sign. This is really bad. It's called ghost calling. Okay? Now, what's a ghost call? Ghost calling is if you swear you heard the phone go off. Like, oh, I think my phone went off, but it didn't go off. That's a ghost call. And if you have that sign, then you are totally addicted to your phone and social media.
Oh my God, I have fulfilled all the requirements.
I think so. I think I fulfilled all four too. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I look at these signs, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's me.
but why is it so easy to be addicted?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question, right? So the question is, why is it so easy to be addicted to social media and your phone? Well, number one is this, guys, and this is something that's kind of scary. All these social media platforms have hired people to make their social platforms addictive. It is made to be like that. Top designers, top behavioral psychologists are all hired to make these platforms unresistible. Okay, so you know what do we all go through? We're like, oh, I got a like. And then after you get the like, how do you feel? You feel emptiness. It's like, oh, you know, I got a like. And then all of a sudden you have a craving for another like, right? So what happens is everyone starts going through these cycles of wanting likes and comments, want to see these little videos and stuff like this, right? So I have a question for Elin. Elin, what do you think the average time that a person uses social media?
3-4 hours.
And the answer, you're right. It's about 3 hours per person, right? 3 hours per person. But here's the thing. For myself, I'm on social media, like checking stuff, probably for about 1.5 to 2 hours, which means there is someone else who's been watching it for 6 hours in a day, because that's the average, right? Some people don't even look at their cell phones, which means some people are watching, like, on their cell phones for like 8, 9, 10 hours. And what the brain is like, and this is something we really need to know, is this chemical called dopamine. And I'm sure, Elin, you've heard of dopamine, right? Yeah, and dopamine is very interesting because this dopamine is a chemical in your brain that is, it's looking for future rewards, right? It's the things like, it's anticipation, like, oh, I can't wait for the ice cream. Dopamine, right? Ooh, I can't wait for the game to start. Ooh, I can't wait for the popcorn. I can't wait for the pizza, right? These are all dopamine things, right? And it should be unexpected, okay? Now, what does that mean? Imagine this, okay? So Elin has like she remembers, oh, I left money in my pocket, my jeans, right? So then you're like, I think there's only 20 ringgit. And then when you check in the pocket, you pull out 100 ringgit.
Whoa, jackpot!
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's dopamine. Unexpected, like, whoa. And this is why even in sports, like say soccer, when they score a goal in soccer, why are people so crazy? Because nobody knows when it's going to happen. They're just like, oh, and everyone's like, oh, come on, score a goal. And when you score, so much dopamine shoots into your body, right? Now, here's the biggest problem about dopamine. Dopamine at normal levels is okay. It's good for us to have normal levels of dopamine, okay? But if you have too much dopamine and you're always looking forward to ding, likes and comments and you're always checking your cell phone, the one thing bad about dopamine is always wanting more. It never stops. which means that once you get addicted, you will never be satisfied with what you already have. You're always looking to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, right? And this is what dopamine does. Dopamine, it has to do with addiction, and social media platforms have been engineered and designed for people to fire their dopamine constantly, right? So if people get really addicted, they can't be productive. Why? Because they're always checking it during work. They're always checking it, during class. They feel bad after because, oh, hey, Elin, have you ever had this before where it's like, oh, I really want to be productive today. And then you start checking your phone, and then 4 hours later, you're like, what did I just do? Right? And then you feel bad after. And then you begin to lose excitement and lose motivation to do other things. So Elin, this is how people get addicted to the social media platforms.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy,
it's
right?
Crazy. Like
yeah,
having like 6, 5, like 8 hours on the phone.
Oh my goodness.
Half of a day.
Yeah, but you know what? I know some people who do that though too, on the phone for 8 hours.
Okay, definitely not me.
So I got a question for you then. This is my question to you. Because you're an influencer and you're on social media all the time, always posting and doing different things like this. So for you, what are some of the dangers or some of the negative things you've experienced?
Negative comments? Like...
Okay. Like what?
You are ugly.
What? Someone called you ugly?
Yeah.
You know what? If I, you know what I want to do to that person who called you ugly? I want to pray for them. Because I'm still a pastor, so I have to pray for them, right? But yeah, I'm sorry, the bad joke. Okay, go on. That was a dad joke.
The second thing I most received is your acting is not natural.
Oh, so they say you're a bad actor.
Yeah, something like that.
So I know you really well, and we talk about social media and the dangers of it. So I know your mind is really healthy, but for other people who are not healthy about it, they get lots of anxiety from it. Right? They get stressed because, this is what you call like bullying, right? Cyberbullying. And they feel anxious about opening their social media, but because they're addicted, they have to look at it. People get depressed. People, feel terrible about themselves too.
But what makes it worse is that people actually do support it.
You know what? That's a really, really good point actually, because yeah, like the only reason people keep loading those types of things is because people keep watching it and people keep liking it. So yeah, I definitely think that's a terrible thing. Yeah, that we make people want to do it more.
So do you have any tips for this cyberbullying?
Okay, cyberbullying tips. Let me give you 3 tips, right? 3 tips on cyberbullying. And if you guys are going through any level of this, let me just tell you 3 tips that will kind of help you out when it comes to your mindset or your mentality. Number 1 is don't retaliate. Right? Like don't say bad things back to them, because honestly guys, it just makes things worse. It doesn't get better from there. You might feel good for a moment, but it's gonna keep coming back at you. If anything guys, don't go down to the level, be nice or don't respond at all. There's no point about that, because you just don't want things to get worse and worse. The second thing I tell you is, honestly guys, you're putting your picture or your views on social media, which is public to everyone. Which means what? If you're putting it publicly, do you think everyone has to agree with you, or everyone has to like your picture, or everyone has to support you? And the answer is no one has to, right? You don't expect people that they have to like. If I were to even ask Elin, if Elin is probably looking at, you look at other social media posts, right? Do you like every single one of them?
No.
No way, right? And wouldn't it be weird if the person texts you and says, why didn't you like my post? Wouldn't that be so weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like stalking, right? Like, what? Remember guys, number 2 is for a healthy mind, just realize they don't have to agree with you and they don't have to like you. They don't, right? And that's something we have to have a healthy mind in. The last one is this. There's normal feedback, right? Like some people might say to Elin, I don't think you look good in red, but I think you look better in blue, right? Or something like, ooh, I don't know if that dress really fits you that well, right? Oh, I don't like these shoes. And these are some things that are kind of normal and natural, right? But what is not natural is nasty comments. Like what? Like, You're ugly. Why are you doing this? You're a terrible actress. You know what? You know what? I've seen this before. This is the worst one I've heard is you should kill yourself. I've actually heard that or seen that before on social media, which is the worst thing that you can say. Now, here's the thing. If someone is ever that extreme, you have to realize at that point, you are not the issue. It is actually the person writing. They have some type of problem for them to be that extreme, right? I'm not saying they're mentally ill. What I'm saying is they're probably going through things or they've had a rough life or some things that are happening that we don't know about. And this is why a lot of people act out in this way, okay? So those are the 3 kind of tips that I would give to you and to those people who are being bullied.
Oh, thanks for that. It's a very cool tip.
Okay, so let's go to one more thing because I know that nasty comments and like these types of things aren't the only thing that people struggle with. What do you think is another thing that people will struggle with in social media?
I guess people really starting comparing themselves. They get low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem. Don't worry about it. I know it's different because there's Manglish and then there's English, right? So low self-esteem.
Sorry.
Okay. No worries. So what happens? What are people comparing though? Well, what do people compare themselves with when they watch social media?
Compare their body figure, their luxury life,
yeah,
the car, the house, the money, the bags, the shoes, the clothes. Girls, even boys. For male, they also compare. Having muscles.
Yeah, that's what I see too. I'm looking at these muscles. I was like, wow, these guys have tons of muscles, right? And it makes me want to work out. So this comparing thing becomes very unhealthy too. And like you said, these people are comparing to their lifestyle. But I heard something very interesting is that, especially in America, there's a lot of influencers that don't really live that lifestyle, but they're in debt, right? Spending money just to show on Instagram that they're living that way.
Yeah, I know some of the YouTubers, they're actually doing that. Just do anything just for the likes and the followers.
Oh, see, that's terrible, yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any tips for this?
Tips. Okay, so let's do 3 tips for comparisons, okay? Now, the first thing I want to tell you guys is this. There is comparing is not a bad thing. It's actually quite healthy. There is healthy comparison. So if I even were to say right now to Elin, if I said, Elin, when you look at these other bigger influencers, then what do you feel when you see them, like when they're really pretty, 1 million followers and stuff like that? What do you usually think?
I would actually ask them, how do you do it? Can I learn it from you?
Awesome, right? And this is what you call a healthy comparison. In just regular life, having comparison can be very healthy because it motivates you and it actually compels you, gives you hope to do better, right? So that's, because I know Elin is very healthy in her heart and her mind and spiritually too, right? So when I ask her, I know that she's like, yeah, I want to learn. How does she do it better? How did they do it like this? How did they do it like that? And this is what you call a healthy comparison. But what we're getting into right now is when comparisons become super unhealthy, right? When they're super unhealthy, there's 3 kind of tips that will help you guys not get into that zone. Number 1 is this. Number 1 is seek connection, not comparison, okay? What does that mean? Connection means, there's something in I think everyone does this. Everyone out there in the YouTube world, you've done this before, right? It's called passive scrolling. There's no reason why you're scrolling. You just turn on your phone, turn on Instagram, and you're just looking at every single post. That's passive. There is no purpose for it, and that's why it never ends. It's a black hole of constantly searching and searching. 3-4 hours later, you're gonna wonder, what the heck have I done for the last 3-4 hours, right? You need to seek connection. There's gotta be a purpose. Remember, social media is a tool. It's not like a living being. It is a tool that you're using, and you have to use the tool properly and seek connection. Like what I was just telling to Elin is, if she's someone that wants to learn how to do social media better, then she'll find people, DM them and say, hey, I'm an influencer, but I want to learn, how did you do this? And she'll spend her time with a purpose, trying to connect with people more than just passively scrolling. She'll go into a Facebook group that's for influencers that have like a certain amount of influencers trying to get better and better, right? So my first tip I really give you guys is you want to see some type of connection, connecting to people, talking to them. Second thing is this. Self-improvement means you need to compare yourself not to other people, but the person you have to compare yourself to the most is yourself. How am I compared to last year? How am I compared to last month? How am I compared to last week? What did I do better this time? This is about self-improvement, right? When you look at other people, you're always looking at the things you don't have. And when you're looking at yourself, you're looking at the things that you have, right? And you're always improving it. We're all from different situations and different circumstances. And we have to realize that, yeah, the only person that we're able to improve, and we can't be anyone else, is only ourselves, right? We're the only ones that can change our life. So compare yourself to yourself. The last one is, I would say this is a very spiritual thing for me because I'm a Christian, so I believe in God, and I'm always thanking God. I'm saying don't always, if you don't believe in God, I'm not going to say just go believe in God, but just be thankful. Be thankful is another term for counting your blessings, right? Because if you are thinking and comparing to other people so much, you're only thinking about what you don't have, right? And that comparison is really unhealthy. Why don't I have a Lamborghini? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? It's a terrible thing, right? But if you count your blessings, if you're always thankful for what you have, you realize the things that you've been blessed with already, and you're able to see these things all the time. Like, wow, you know what? I'm really blessed, right? And you're focusing on yourself more than the people and the things that you don't have, right? So, Elin, these are the 3 tips that I would give, especially for people who are giving unhealthy comparisons more than anything else.
That's the tip that the youngster now need to know, like stop comparing them, like counting blessings.
I agree.
So, come to our last question. How can we deal with social media in a more wiser way?
All right, so we're talking about addiction. We're talking about like this dopamine, dopamine's like very toxic in your head. So I think we need to talk about like what you call a detox, right? A social media detox, because we're too into it, checking it all the time. Okay, so remember before I talk about dopamine, and dopamine is something like it's the chemical that comes out because you're anticipating something, right? So what happens is this is the very interesting thing about dopamine. The interesting thing is this: if for Elin, right? Elin, if $10,000 is that a lot of money?
Yes, of course.
It's a ton of money, right? But imagine it's a millionaire. What is $10,000 to him?
$1.
It's like $1, right? It's nothing to them. So it's not something that I'm like, oh, I want to get it, right? It's the same thing with what dopamine does. Let's just say that you're super, what happens with dopamine is you like, whoa, I want to get the like, right? Or the comment. So once you get it, you're really excited. Oh my gosh, someone commented me. Someone commented me, right? You're like so happy and the dopamine's going off. Oh, I got 10 likes. I got 12 likes, whatever it is, right? Now, here's the thing. If you keep going at 10 to 12 likes, 15 likes, and that's your normal, what happens is now you're expecting 15 likes, right? If that becomes normal. So what happens is 15 likes no longer gives you a dopamine hit because you're used to it. So what happens is, what's next? Now you're like, oh, I need 30, right? I need 40. So what happens is you start becoming more extreme with social media, right? And when you become more and more extreme, you're trying to get one more like, 17 likes, 18 likes, and you start going crazy over social media. You go to a restaurant, you're not even enjoying the food. The only thing you care about is taking a picture of it. The only thing you care about is taking a picture inside the restaurant. You don't enjoy anything about it because all your mind is only thinking about your social media getting 20 likes instead of 15. And what happens is once you get 20, you want 30, then you want 40, and you want 50, right? And what happens is when you keep going crazy for this dopamine, you cannot enjoy your life right now. And one of the saddest things actually is, Elin, is you lose motivation to do stuff because you need extreme stimulation to get you motivated, right? But the normal things are no longer motivating to you. So here's some tips, 3 tips I'm gonna give to you, okay? And this is what you call like a social media detox. And a social media detox is kind of getting rid of those triggers that make you want to check your phone all the time, which means number 1 is turn off your notifications. Turn off the badges. Don't let it show up on your screen because you can't help it because you're studying and then all of a sudden you see this bloop or this light shines and it's like, you have a new message. You're like, oh, right? You start checking it. So number one, turn off your notifications. Number two is sometimes, especially when it's going to bed, put your phone away, right? And I know some people who actually have a rule of no phones in the bedroom, right? So that they won't be distracted or tempted to look at their phones because they can't fall asleep or something like that. And, or you can do something that doesn't require a phone. Like if you go swimming, you'll never check your phone. It's a good habit and it's a good hobby that keeps the phone away from you. But the last one I think is probably the most important one is set some realistic goal of a real detox. Some people like say 10 minutes a day, I do no phone. And that's pretty sad though. So I would say minimum 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes to an hour per day. Just put that aside. There's no phone, no TV, no games. It's just you and yourself, having some water, making writing or extra, just something where you're not doing social media and you're detoxing yourself from social media completely. Some people, when I say set a realistic goal, some people, it could just mean once a week, just doing 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours. Some people do once a week, 1 day off. Some people do 1 weekend out of every month. And some people even do a week or even up to a month for an entire year. But it's something that resets your mind so that you can start being stimulated by small things again. And I think this is a very, very healthy thing for a lot of people to do. So you're not getting too crazy into the social media. It's good to lay off of it. And then your body's like, I need social media. And then even the smallest thing makes you happy, right? And that's what, and I think, Elin, this is 3 tips that'll help you guys out with a small detox from social media.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's good advice and the tips. Then, let me to do the summary.
Okay.
So, the first thing that we have discussed just now is the first one is social media is designed for addiction.
Boo.
And the second one is the tips how to deal with the cyberbullying and comparison. And the third is my favorite tip. It's called social media detox.
Yes, the detox. Do you want to start one of them? You want to try something?
I wanted to try like one day off.
1 day off. Yeah, that'd be, and that's actually really, really good.
Because I am an influencer, so actually I will be checking on my phone like tons of times.
Yeah, and I think it's like for you, it's your job, so it's a little bit different because you're not doing it just for no reason. You need to check it for your job. But for a lot of us out there, I hope you guys gained a lot from the different talks that we had today about social media, the dangers and how to deal with it. That means we're coming to the end of our show. And those of you guys out there, if you have any other topics you guys want to talk about, go ahead, leave it in the comments below. We really want to hear it. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, make sure you like and comment and share with your friends if you like the if you like the content today. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. That's it for today's LAB78. My name is s.k.y.
My name is Aline. Voila!
All right, everyone.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye-bye. Have a good Chinese New Year.